and it'll slow your ride down here this morning. Peter Franklin in New York City as they brace for yet a third nor'easter in a row. Crazy, Peter.
Yeah, crazy. But we're going to react to it because what we're doing in the taxi industry is today we're going to use the tires that have some threads on them.
Oh, I like that. So the bald ones you're going to leave in the garage.
Yeah, exactly. We make the switch today. We've been doing that for the last couple of hours. No, but it's a little bit of a false alarm, as it has been the other times. You know, outside of New York, up in your neck of the woods in New England, New York, the weatherman is a little bit off the mark because panic sweeps the city, and then nothing really happens.
Do people run out and try to get milk and stock up on all that?
Yeah, but this is like the third time I think that this has happened. I mean, as I'm talking to you now, there's really no snow falling. The streets are a little bit wet from rain, but that's no big deal. Perhaps it's a plot between the Weather Bureau and the guy who sells the shovels.
That might be. Actually, Stormy Daniels seems to have more of an effect on New York than these nor'easters. No.
Yeah, well, now that's time for her. It goes in cycles, and you, of all people, would know that. This is now the Stormy Daniels cycle, but as soon as something else happens,
there'll be something
she'll
else
be off the front page, and somebody else will be there.
Hey, Peter, how is it that you can cash the check and they buy your silence, and then you can change your mind and give the money back and start talking? How does that work?
Well, it just works, and obviously she's probably not the most reputable person on the face of the earth with the greatest amount of integrity. Now, I'm not slandering her, but, I mean, look who you're dealing with.
Yeah. Tell me, if you would, when these storms do hit, I think that obviously, transportation shuts right down. Grand Central Terminal becomes like a hotel.
Yeah, Penn Station also, and it really does, because, first of all, when it happens, there's not any rooms left in any of the hotels. Also, mysteriously, the rates seem to go up. So a lot of people who are commuting back to New Jersey or out to Long Island really get stuck in one of the terminals, even the Port Authority bus terminal, and it becomes something like a huge camp out. Now, the upside of it is that you have a whole bunch of people who are living together in a big tent, so to speak.
Right.
And you're waiting for them to start singing folk songs and lighting little fires for cooking.
And naming
some camaraderie,
naming their babies Grand Central. Right?
Yeah,
this is my baby Grand Central.
That's what happens.
Yeah. NYPD. You see, it's the difference between up here and down there, Peter. In this area, we're having a problem where authorities are all upset that people are taking their garbage and they're putting it into a garbage bag and then taking it to a public trash can. And they're using the services, stealing the services. In New York, they just steal the whole garbage can.
Yeah, well, they're kind of nice-looking garbage cans. It's the type of thing I wouldn't want to give you this idea that you would kind of take back to your house, put it in the backyard, and use it for burning leaves.
Oh, nice.
But, it's a kind of, I would say they're calling it a mystery, but it's not a mystery. They're really nice-looking trash cans. Now, this is not meant as an advertisement, for people to start coming down here and stealing them, but it is a little bit of a problem. As far as cops go, in case you folks are wondering where all your cops are, they're all in New York City. Just about on every street corner, there's now a state trooper who sits in the car all day long doing nobody knows what, just annoying the heck out of our cops, because I guess that's eating into the overtime. But, I mean, we must have 1 million New York state troopers in New York City now.
And this weekend will be the St. Patrick's Day Parade, of course, falling on a Saturday, right? This is a big day in New York City.
Yeah, it will be very nice, very orderly. The police, our police, are very strict about it. You can't even walk towards the parade with a little brown paper bag or anything like that. So they keep a tight control on it, and they want it to be a family thing. And it always does turn out to be a nice family thing. Of course, it's going to make the city lots and lots of money because people buy things like crazy, and to that we thank everybody.
Peter, there are people There are people up here that are very, very upset over the fact that the Human Resource Administration in New York City is picking up homeless people, and they're paying to move them upstate. I don't know that we've had any here, but Binghamton is one of the targets.
The supervisor or the mayor up there is having a fit about it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a really kind of a weird thing that you would take people from the streets of New York City, put them in a bus or a car, and then you'd have them living next door to you. I mean, it's a crazy thing, and he wants it stopped, and I can understand why he does want it stopped. They probably don't have the social services to take care of the people up there either, even though somebody is probably making a lot of money on the deal.
Yeah.
Peter, with all due respect, in 2018, if you're homeless, especially in New York City, aren't you choosing that lifestyle? Aren't there enough, I don't want to get into a whole political discussion.
You're right, but there's certain categories. You have the people who don't know what planet they're on.
Yeah.
And that's a very special planet.
Never heard of it described that way, but I think you're right.
These are people who have all kinds of sicknesses and mental illnesses and everything. And no matter what you do for them, they'll float back out onto the street. The city estimates about this 5,000 of the hardcore homeless that they just are distraught about what you do with them. And there are beds and places for all of the people, but they just don't want to choose to do it. Yeah. It's a medical problem. It really is.
And finally, fare evasion, something that you certainly pay much attention to, is a problem in New York, but it's taking a nosedive. What's going on here?
Yeah, well, if you eliminate the crime, then there's no crime, and that's a trick of the New York City Police Department and the New York City's district attorney. You get rid of the crime, well, then there is no crime. So for a long time, if you jumped over a turnstile, you were arrested, you were put in handcuffs, you were dragged away, and you had to spend some time in jail. What a horrible, horrible experience that would be. Well, now the cops and the district attorney think that's too much work for them, so what they've done is they've downplayed the crime in itself. And now if you jump over the turnstile, and I'm not suggesting it, the worst that's going to happen to you is you're going to get a summons, sort of like a parking summons, speeding summons. You're not going to be arrested. When you get put into handcuffs and dragged out of a subway station, that really leaves an image in your mind.
Certainly does. So does a tour of New York City with Peter Franklin. Best tour in New York City. You can go into the city. Peter will take you to places you've never been to before, all throughout the 5 boroughs. And you simply go to Gabby.com for details. Peter, as always, thank you. Enjoy the storm, and we'll talk again next week.